Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially back here in the top of the third inning. Carson Phillips back out for his third inning of work. He walked Colin Wood to lead off the inning. Wood stole second. Now it's 3-2 in the count. Wood will go to third here on a wild pitch. Third one of the game so far for Carson Phillips. Primo Vasquez at the plate with a man over at third and nobody out. He walked in the first, also stole a base. Power were able to put up a run of their own in their half of the second. Now a line out to second by Bly to start the inning. Brock Morrison walked. Benson came around to score. Isaiah Alvarez hit by a pitch. Efrain Manzo popped out. Josh Fernandez with a big RBI hit through the middle, and that scored Morrison. And that's where we stand at the moment. Spencer Keene threw an inning just now for the PSCL Uncommitted group. He allowed that one earned run. And here we stand. No outs, a man over at third. In the top of the third inning for Primo Vasquez, he faces a full count. Power assistant coach and A's manager, reigning PSCL manager of the year, Don Bray, up in the booth with us. And wants more information on any of the players from tonight or last night, contact Don Bray at 626-664-5136. Vasquez works a walk here. Excellent at bat, going to a deep count. So 2 walks this inning here for Phillips, puts men on first and third, and nobody else. With a meeting on the mound.
Yeah, with Jack Gray stepping into the batter's box now, 364 batting average on the season with a 417 on base percentage. A very good hitter, but then also a very solid fielder as well. He's playing over at shortstop this evening for the PSCL Uncommitted team. He's been doing a really good job over at short.
Frankly, he's only made a couple errors so far this season. Usually, shortstops always have more chances than just about all the other fielders. So it's an excellent thing to see. Jack Ray struck out his first time up. Carson Phillips struck out 4 men so far. He's ahead in the count 1-0. Power middle infield is looking to turn 2. Corner's about even with the bags. Outside again, 2-0.
I mean, Don, we were just talking and praising Jack Ray for being a good shortstop. I mean, it's very important at that position to really have a good glove. And we've seen him already today. He's able to get ahead of the ball, get a good few steps out, and then throw it over to first. So he's done a really solid job all around.
Yeah, I mean, Jack's an elite defender, and, that's what you want your shortstop to be, is just a plus defender. And him being able to swing it is just kind of a plus to any kind of school that's looking for a middle infield type guy. I think out recruiting in my years of coaching, the one thing you always wanted to see a shortstop do is make that play where they're running in on the ball, have to go down, get it, make a quick play to flirt first, just kind of see what kind of clock they're working with there. And it's awesome. He did that, showcased it right away. So, it's always the tales of a good defender. You never know how good a defender is until you can really make the tough plays. So
that 2-1's hitting the air out to right field. Brock Morrison over. He makes the catch. Tagging is Colin Wood. He'll come in to score. The PSCL Uncommitted team take the lead back. It's now 2-1 here with 1 out. Good at bat from Jack Ray. RBI on the sacrifice fly. Don, you were talking to us last night about how much the pitching has really stood out this season, just based on even the eye test and the fact that it's been the lowest combined batting average in any season that you can remember for the PSCL league. Has there been things about the defense that have stood out to you?
Yeah, I think it's a solid defensive year. I think it's always tough because we do really have a lot of guys who either redshirted or are uncommitted looking for spots. Maybe they didn't get a chance to actually play a position this year, and so it might be a little tough. Knocking off the rust is good, but I'd say the defense has been pretty good. Haven't seen a lot of errors. 1 to 2 a game, nothing crazy that I've noticed before. I think it's awesome. And then we also have the luxury of also playing on a turf field behind us here in right field. Always going to help the fielding percentage just a little bit when we're using on the turf. So field's playing great, guys are playing great. Have been some highlight plays this year as well, so it's been a lot of fun.
I've been very pleasantly surprised about the amount of outfield assists I've seen, even double plays on the infield. I usually wouldn't expect to see quite as many double plays, even from Division II teams, frankly. And we're seeing that with guys who are trying to move up essentially in the college rankings.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's been overall a very advanced year for the PSCL. It's awesome to see a trend upward. I think every year it just gets better and better with talent. And these uncommitted games are important because, you know, we want to see a competitive game with the power. And that's what we're seeing here today. So we're just lucky to have all that talent here.
Julian Gonzalez now up at the plate, struck out his first time up. He takes the ball upstairs, 1-1 the count. Colin Wood just crossed the plate for the PSCL uncommitted team, giving them a 2-1 lead. See, we stand at the top of the third inning with one out. Jack Ray delivered the sacrifice fly, going the other way to fairly deep right field. Another check on the runner. Primo Vasquez over at first base, one of 2 walks issued by Phillips in this inning. Power infield looking to turn 2. Looks like Joseph Cook is warming up in the bullpen for the PSCL team. There's a good chance we'll see him pitching to third against the Power. 1-2 the count. Phillips has struck out 4 so far. The 1-2. There goes Vasquez. Throw down. And out is the call at second base. Strike him out, throw him out. Nice play there all the way around. A double play ends the inning, but not before the PSCL team put another run on the board to take the lead back. So we'll go to the bottom of the third inning. PSCL uncommitted lead 2-1. To the bottom of the third inning we go. It'll be the top of the order coming up for the Power. Nelson Padilla, Anthony Angel Jr., and Evan Berkey. Ito Peled out on the mound. He's the new pitcher. Peled's gone 11 2/3 innings. 4 strikeouts to his credit. Pitched in 6 games so far. So 2-0 the count to Padilla. Nelson Padilla grounded out to short his first time up. Still the same group of position players. First of what we'll likely see of 3 waves with the PSCL uncommitted team. That ball's on the ground, out to shortstop. And it's going to be off of Jack Ray. They'll skittle into shallow left field. So Padilla will reach base to start the third inning. A tough play. Sometimes the ball just takes a bad hop. So leadoff base run for the Power as they try and get that run, the run back they gave up in the PSCL uncommitted half. 2-1 is our score. The uncommitted team in the lead. So I'll bring up Anthony Angel Jr., grounded out to third his first time up, part of a 1-2-3 first inning. That first pitch delivered upstairs. Ido Peled has pitched with the Israeli national team, part of their silver medal winning group in the 2021 European Championships. Good lead from Padilla over at first base. He is not going to deliver it up and away. Look to be maybe sort of a pitch out. We'll have a quick meeting on the mound. Tyler Swan trying to help Peled get settled in here. Behind the count 2-0 with Padilla over at first base. Something else to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up on July 4th, will be a Monday, 6 o'clock start time. It's the annual All-Star Game, as the Power will take on the very best of the PSCL League. The playoffs will come up shortly after that for the 12-team PSCL field. Let's over down and away 3-0. A's manager and reigning PSCL Manager of the Year, Don Bray, still up in the booth with us. You can contact him about any of these uncommitted players from tonight or last night at 626-664-5136. That ball's ripped foul. Green light on the 3-0 pitch from Anthony Angel Jr. Don, I'd have to think, based on what I saw the past tonight so far and even last night, several of these uncommitted players, good chance of making the All-Star team.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of great players out here. We see Brant Cook in right field actually plays for me, leads the league in stolen bases. He's actually one stolen base away from beating the leader from last year, Dalton Thomas, who was also on my team. We've got guys like William Fleece out in center field, great all-around utility player, can do it all. Cade Yasui out there as well. Jack Ray hitting, I think, almost 400.
That ball's through the hole for a base hit. So first and second, nobody out for the Power. Sorry to cut you off there, Don.
No, you're fine. Oh.
Whoa, what happened here? Wow, going to third is Nelson Padilla, my goodness. Looked like the play was over. I'm not... George, you get a good look at that?
I think just what was going on there on the field is that nobody was really looking back at Nelson Padilla. Nobody also covering over at third. And Gonzalez thought he got him over there. You can kind of tell he was talking to the field umpire about it. Looked like to be a very close play. It happened all at once. But now we got runners on the corners for the Power who are looking to tie this game up.
Evan Berkey, the man due up, flew out to right field his first time up. Now that man on first and third, nobody out. Don, would you say that the stolen bases throughout the season has it been more than usual or pretty standard as far as most seasons compare?
I would say it's pretty comparable. Guys trying to make things happen. Like I said, guys want to prove themselves in the PSCL, and I think one of the best ways, if maybe they're not swinging it, is to try to take that extra base. So I'd say it's pretty on par with what we usually have. I think there is more steals this year. Nice little hit there.
That's in for a base hit. Berkey bloops one in the right field. That'll place Nelson Padilla, tying our score 2 apiece. Still man on first and second with nobody out, back-to-back hits. I know you really love to have your guys run, Don.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a huge part of the game. Just kind of showcasing all the talents we have, I think, is very, very important. And stealing bases is one of them. We try to take advantage whether the pitcher is slow or, just try to get guys in scoring position. We like to score.
And that does the pitchers and the catchers a favor, too. I assume helping the pitchers get used to holding runners on more and more and giving catchers a chance to try and throw runners out.
Yeah, exactly. It's great to see the catcher show off their arm. That's why the other thing we steal bases is because we want to test our catchers. We got one of the best catch and throw guys in the league here, Tyler Swan, behind the plate today. Also is up with the Power once in a while. Great catcher.
First pitch delivered in the dirt. Really nice block there from Swan. That was a tough one. He made it look pretty easy. Keeps Anthony Angel Jr. over at second and Evan Berkey over at first.
One thing I really like about Tyler Swan is how he's able to be quick on his feet behind the plate. If there's a pitch just like that, that's kind of down in the dirt, kind of gets away from him, he's able to jump on it quickly.
Another really nice block right there on a fastball this time. So 2-0 count to Noah Blythe. Power's leading hitter so far this season, most total hits. Frankly, seems like everything that comes off his bat is a rocket. Here's a 2-0. Power have already tied the game. Ball's grounded. Left side is going to get through the hole for a base hit. Stopping at third is Anthony Angel Jr. That'll load the bases now with nobody out.
Good stop there from Yasui, as he was able to get that out in left field early up to Gonzalez. But I mean, Anthony Angel Jr. looked like he was going to go home, but that throw came in so quickly that they held him up there.
I'll bring up Brock Mortensen. Walked and scored in the second. Power have already tied the game here in the third. Nobody out with the bases loaded. Looks like Colin Wood and Julian Gonzalez, the first and third baseman, are going to play about even with the bag, maybe a step in front. And Vasquez and Jack Ray are going to play about double play def. First pitch taken inside, ball one. Joseph Cook still throwing in the bullpen, so I'm throwing last inning for the PSCL Uncommitted team. Blood, there was the first pitch in the dirt. That'll go to the backstop. Coming on the score is Anthony Angel Jr. That'll make it 3-2 in favor of the Power. They take their first lead tonight. Going to third is Berkey. Up to second go Blythe on the wild pitch. So an error, 3 hits in a row, and a wild pitch. So far I've led to 2 runs for the Power here in this inning. There's nobody out. We'll have a meeting on the mound. Trying Albedo Peled get settled into this. Still only a 1-run game. Back-to-back nights, the PSCL Uncommitted teams have come out and frankly punched the Power in the mouth. Taking an early lead. Trying to keep the deficit at bay.
Don, with mound meetings like that we just kind of saw from Bailey Owens talking to Peled, what are you kind of talking with those pitchers about in those kind of short meetings?
The biggest thing is just, hey, calm down, relax. We don't mind guys getting hits to score runs. What we do mind is walking guys to score runs. So, not necessarily throw it down the middle, but let's try to, throw a pitch and do whatever we can to get even. You don't want to groove a pitch to a guy like Mortensen. Hit a lot of home runs this year for his college. But we still got to be competitive. Be competitive is the name of the game, especially with pitchers. So.
And it looks like Cook is done throwing in the bullpen. Wonder what kind of leash Peled is going to have. Swinging on the 3-0 is Morrison. He chops that foul. So 3-1 the count. Men on second, third, nobody out. PSCL Uncommitted infield. Looks like they are going to play back, willing to concede another run here. Power now lead by 1 after scoring 2 here in the third. Recorded 3 hits. A wild pitch this inning. Here's a 3-1. That's in the air left side. That'll dip out of play, foul, 3-2. Nice job from Ito Peled working it back to a 3-2 count after falling behind 3-0.
That's what you want to see from a pitcher who might have a tough inning, giving up a few runs, and in this situation, 3 straight base hits. Being able to battle back and show that fighting spirit within him, that's what you want to see.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, compete, battle is the name of the game here. It doesn't matter if he puts a ball in play. We're going to trade outs for runs at this point in the game. It's still early.
Obviously, another thing to keep in mind, regardless of what the score ends up being, players trying to showcase themselves. That ball's off the glove. The second baseman Vasquez. That'll allow 2 runs to come across and score. So 4-run inning so far for the Power. Gives them a 5-2 lead. Really good pitch there from Peled, but it's been a factor at times this summer. Very hard infield. We are here in the desert. Don't get a whole lot of rain. The ball just took a crazy hop there, honestly. So Mortensen's aboard here. Wait to see what the scoring is going to be on that play. Still nobody out. So that brings up Isaiah Alvarez, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. Now, this is going to go down as an error officially. Tough error nonetheless. Ball's bouncing all sorts of ways. Alvarez takes ball 1. Uncommitted coaches definitely want to try and get Peled through this inning. He delivers a strike, 1-1. Uncommitted team looking to turn 2 right here. Nobody out here in the third. Power have put 4 runs across. Here's the 1-1 from Peled. A little outside, 2-1.
Good fastball there from Peled. Just got up high in that zone, but he's kind of working all the corners.
Plus the third pitch we've seen so far tonight. That ball's ripped in the left field for a base hit. Put men on first and second. First hit of the night for Alvarez. 6th hit overall for the Power. They might see upwards of 8 pitchers tonight, and it looks like that is going to be it for Ito Peled. We have a meeting on the mound. Looks like Joseph Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with a new pitcher. Here we stand in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Power have plated 4 runs so far. Brock Morrison's over on second base. Isaiah Alvarez over at first. And Ephraim Manzo will be facing Joseph Cook. Cook playing for the Coyotes here in the PSCL season. He's been excellent. .82 ERA in 11 innings. He's kept the walk totals down, only 7 issued. 6 strikeouts pitched to contact, but he hasn't allowed all that much. Only 8 hits in those 11 innings. It's on a tough spot here. First and second, nobody out. Facing Ephraim Manzo, who popped out to third his first time up. 1-1 to him.
In 11 innings pitched, Cook has only allowed 3 runs and 8 hits. So a very solid pitcher who can produce some good strikes on the mound.
A ball fouled back just over the head of our public address announcer. So 1-2 the count. Cook able to work ahead. PSCL Uncommitted team still looking to turn a double play. That's how they're positioned. Still the original starters out on the field as far as position players are concerned. We'll expect to see likely some new platoons out there for the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. We'll expect to see pinch hitters, frankly, as we get into the top of the fourth for the next time at bat with the uncommitted group. Power looking to win game number 10 in a row. So that breaking ball's ripped foul. Look out by the concession stands. Count remains 2-2.
Yeah, a lot of Cook's success comes from the fact that he's not afraid to just throw strikes. You know, it's not crazy high velo, but it does the job. It's got good movement. He's got a good slider patched with his fastball, and he's going to go right at kids. You know, it's again, those are the fun guys to watch when they're not afraid. You know, you got guys like Efren Monzo coming up, who a powerhouse Division I baseball program, and he throws a fastball right at him. He says, "Here it is. Try to hit it." It's just a real nice talent that these guys have, especially like Cook. It's awesome to see.
That 2-2. Taken upstairs. That is going to be ball 4. So bases are loaded once again with nobody out. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, assistant coach for the Power and manager of the A's, Don Bray, joining us in the booth. Feel free to contact him at 626-664-5136 if you want more information on any of these uncommitted players tonight or the group we had last night. Just curious, Don, what do you think we'll see in the playoffs coming up just next week for the PSCL League?
You know, it's going to be interesting. You know, every team is competitive, and just because there's a 13 seed and a 1 seed, it doesn't matter. Going into the playoffs, it's going to be a little hectic. Guys are going to try to be winning games to get one of those top 3 buys, and that's huge to save pitching, because pitching wins the ball game in the PSCL.
That ball's ripped in the right center field. That's going to get down for a hit. It'll score at least 2 runs. And it looks like runners will stop at second and third. So a 2-run double for Josh Hernandez, plates 2 more runs. 6 runs scored here in the inning for the Power, makes it 7-2. Remind me, Don, is every team playing every day, even through the playoffs?
Yeah, so how it's going to actually work is that the first 3 teams get a bye. The 12 and 13 teams actually have to do a play-in game in order to get into the playoffs. So after that, we're going to be playing in the mornings. Everybody's going to play in the morning. And the last day, we have 3 games. The winner of those, or 4 games, the winner of those will have 2 guys left. They will go and play in the championship game at night. So it's awesome. You know, the championship game at night is going to be I think it's the 8th. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, hopefully get a big crowd out here. Hopefully all the PSCL players who didn't make it come and, you know, cheer on their other teams that are playing for the championship.
Frankly, it has been cool seeing even some of the other PSCL players come and cheer on what some of their teammates or even guys on the other teams. And I assume quite a few of these playoff games are going to be right here in Palm Springs Stadium, and that'll give us a chance to stream them on the Power Summer Collegiate Baseball link. So it's second and third, nobody out. It brings up Tyler Richardson, the 9th man to bat here in for the Power. They have batted around. Man's over at third. Hernandez over at second, just hitting that 2-run double. Power leads 7-2. First pitch swinging, that's going to get popped up foul just to our left. So that ball clanks high off the bleachers and comes tumbling down. Joseph Cook on the mound right now, came on in relief for Ido Peled. Like to see a new pitcher every inning tonight for the PSCL uncommitted group. Good chance to see at least 8, maybe even 9 of them. That ball will get to the backstop. Crossing the plate is Manzo on the wild pitch. Going to third is Hernandez.
Power scores 8-2.
The infield will play back. Nobody up in either bullpen, so we'll expect to see Carson Phillips come back out for the 4th. And this is Joseph Cook's inning for right now. That ball's hitting the air, shallow right field. Going back is Vasquez. He makes the call on the catch. Tagging is Hernandez to throw home. And he's out. It's the call at the plate. How about that play? Excellent catch and tag from Tyler Swan. And a terrific throw from Primo Vasquez. Hernandez trying to be aggressive. So 2 outs on the board now, nobody on base.
Very solid throw from Vasquez, who was out in like shallow right center field, able to come up. Good arm there from him to get the out in time.
That's got to feel really good for Cook on the mound, especially coming in out of the bullpen in a tough situation. First and second, nobody out. That brings up Padilla. Nelson Padilla, the 10th man to bat here in the inning. Reached on an error to start things and scored. First pitch swinging, out to shallow right field. Again, coming in is Cook. He dives, it's going to drop foul. Long run for Cook and Primo Vasquez. Ball just dropped in no man's land. Excellent effort from Cook on the dive. So new life for Nelson Padilla, behind in the count 0-1 now. 2 outs and nobody on base.
Don, going back to that previous play from Primo Vasquez, beautiful throw from him out in shallow right field to get the out at home. I mean, it was just an overall really good play from both Vasquez and Swan.
Yeah, it definitely was. You know, it's a tough play, definitely going back, stopping your momentum, trying to throw a strike home. Did a great job of it. Obviously, Swan being in the right position there to make the tag. You know, huge, kind of cuts the momentum down a little bit for the power here. And like I said, that's just about having feel. It's huge for the PSCL team to get that, try to stop the bleeding a little bit and keep going.
A ball on the strike they count to Padilla. In the bottom of the third, here's the 1-1. On the outside corner, 1-2. Good fastball there from Cook.
It's a good job from Cook knowing the strike zone, getting it a little bit up high. Out of the reach there for Padilla.
Here's the 1-2. On the ground, right back to Cook. Underhand flip to first. That retires the side. Not for the power. Puts 7 runs on the board to take back the lead. And now lead 8-2. Courtesy of 5 hits this inning. The big blow coming on to Josh Hernandez. 2 RBI double. So we'll go to the top of the 4th. Power lead 8-2. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for the top of the 4th inning. Probably going to start to see some platoon switches here as the PSCL Uncommitted team will try and make up a 6-run deficit. Power puts 7 runs on the board in their half of the 3rd inning. Mario Catalan will be the first man off the bench, so he'll bat in the 6th spot in the place of Cade Yasui.
Yeah, Catalan batting .364 with a .462 on base percentage. Very solid hitter for the North Stars in the PSCL. Also has 4 RBIs and 6 hits. So one of those guys you can certainly trust at the plate.
Carson Phillips back on the mound for his 4th inning of work. He's worked ahead 1-2 to Catalan coming off the bench. Phillips allowed a couple runs so far. That pitch delivered down 2-2. Looks like waiting on deck is Trey May, player for the Coyotes. Here's a 2-2. Breaking ball in there for a called strike 3. Kind of want to knew it. Excellent breaking ball there from Phillips. There's one away. Carson Phillips trying to record a shutdown inning. Long time on the bench for him. Power put up 7 runs in the third.
5th strikeout on the day for Carson Phillips as well. Only allowing 3 hits too.
So that brings up Trey May. So he'll bat in the 7th spot of the order. And for William Fleece, he takes strike 1. Trey May hitting .333 so far this season. Big extra base hit guy. 3 doubles, a triple, a home run to his credit, slugging almost 800 OPS, well over 1,200. Big bat in the middle of that lineup for the Coyotes. 7 RBIs to his credit. He's also stolen 3 bases. Pretty darn solid, especially for a slugger like that. He's behind 0-2 to Phillips, though. Looks like Carson Phillips settled in pretty nicely. The 0-2. Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked nicely by Richardson. And Don, what do you think the approach is tonight for all these second and third platoons of uncommitted guys coming off the bench?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is they need to get a fastball. You know, Carson's got an incredible fastball and he's got great breaking stuff, but they really got to try to catch a fastball here because, you know, some of them might not have even seen this type of off speed yet. Not knocking any of the hitters, it's just he's a great pitcher, you know. So if I were them, I would hunt early, especially, you know, down 8-2. Probably going to throw a lot of strikes here, so let's go after a first pitch fastball, see if we can crush it.
A 2-2 breaking ball and swung on a miss. Looks to be kind of a check swing attempt right there from Trey May. So he's down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the inning for Carson Phillips. So I'll bring up Caden Gopalakrishna, playing for the Grizzlies this season. So he'll bat in the 8th spot in for Brant Cook. He'll bat with 2 outs and nobody on base.
He has a .316 on base percentage, batting .143, has 2 hits, 2 runs under his belt as well. Very solid guy who can get on base for you.
Kind of 0-1. That ball's big. Chopper over the third. Anthony Angel Jr. up with it. Delivers over the first. In time. 1-2-3. Go to PSCL Uncommitted team. Carson Phillips works a very quick and nice shutdown inning. So to the bottom of the 4th we go. Power getting back to work at the plate. Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back for the bottom of the 4th inning. Joseph Cook still on the mound. First pitch swinging, there's Anthony Angel Jr. He skies that one into center field. Oh, I guess they lost it in the lights. That ball drops. Anthony Angel Jr. going to second base. That'll have to be ruled a double. We saw once last night. Guys just lost the ball in the lights. I mean, not much you can do there. It is what it is. So here's the current lineup now for the PSCL Uncommitted team. So in the leadoff spot, you have Jason Del Villar. He's the new catcher behind the plate. Colin Wood's still over at first base. He was a starter tonight. Jet Jaco is playing second base. Jack Ray is playing shortstop in the cleanup spot. Julian Gonzalez is playing third base now. Mario Catalan, we saw him hit last inning. He's the new left fielder. Trey May is the new center fielder. Caden Gopala-Krishna is in right. In the designated hitter spot, we still have Adam Green, who started the game. And, of course, Joseph Cook on the mound. I'm proud of us, George. That about covers it.
I know. A lot of changes here for the PSCL Uncommitted team, but well worth it as well. A lot of these guys getting some good, outings here at Palm Springs Stadium under the lights here. For most of them, as many their first time here. Playing under the lights, really big opportunity for everybody.
So Evan Berkey, the batter now, flew out in the first, singled and scored. Last inning, that ball's grounded over the third. And over the first, good play there from Julian Gonzalez on his first chances, one out. He looked Anthony Angel Jr. back to second nicely, too. Smooth play over there, there's one out. So that'll bring up Noah Blythe. Lined out sharply in the second inning. Singled in the third, part of that 7-run inning for the Power. Frankly, George, I assume the approach has to be for these guys coming to the game. To them, they have to treat it like it's the first inning and a 0-0 score.
I think that's really important. And a good mindset to have as a player to going into it. Not that you're down by 6 runs, but that you're tied. Or even that, nobody scored in the ball game either, because you want to go in with the mentality, not that you're losing, but that you want to keep fighting. And that's what these guys are doing, especially Cook, who came in last inning, a very difficult situation. You're going to want to see him battle, and that's what you want from these PSCL Uncommitted players, is just the fight that you see within them. And even Don Bray alluded to that earlier when we talked to him, throughout the ball game, is that fighting spirit that a lot of these guys have.
That pitch in the dirt, blocked nicely right there from Del Villar. Seen some excellent catcher's work so far.
2 really good catchers behind the plate. You had Swan early on, who was doing a great job corralling the ball in front of him, hopping on it early. If he had to extend, he would. Same thing with Del Villar. We've seen him do it throughout the PSCL this season. I've seen him here at Palm Springs Stadium in the morning games here that we've been broadcasting. Done a great job, and he's also a really solid hitter as well. So good all-around defense, offense kind of guy.
A ball and 2 strikes the count to Noah Blythe. 1 out here in the 4th inning. Anthony Angel Jr. got things started with a fly ball to center field that was a mile in the air. And just not able to see out there. Trey May and Mario Catalan did their best, but couldn't do it. Ball over the first base, and try to flip over to Joseph Cook, and they're going to say out on the tag. So that play made by Colin Wood, the starting first baseman. Joseph Cook did a nice job coming over the cover. Had to fumble a little bit of his feet to try and find the bag, but he got the out call. So 2 quick outs. Anthony Angel Jr. goes over the third. 3-1 for those keeping score at home. That brings up Brock Mortensen. He's been on base twice tonight. Walked in the second and scored. Reached on an error in the third and scored. So,
really solid job there from Cook, who was able to get quickly off the mound and record that out.
Big chopper towards the middle, and really nice play, and safe is the call at first. Just safe. Jack Ray made an excellent attempt on that ball. My goodness. Ball nearly chopped right over his head. He nearly had Mortensen at first.
Really good job running up to the ball, not waiting for it to come to you, rather going to it. And that's what you like to see. And a good extension there from Wood on first. It was just the throw was a tad late.
So an RBI infield hit nonetheless for Mortensen, his first hit of the night. 8 hits so far for the Power to go with their 9 runs. Brings up Isaiah Alvarez. He swings the first pitch. Another chance for Jack Ray. He'll throw across the diamond. That ball's over the head of Wood. The ball did not go into the PSCL dugout, so the Runners will stay at first and second. You know, it happens once in a while. The throw just got away. Not much Wood could have done about that.
It was a very solid play from Ray over at short. Just the way he kind of extended the ball a little too early on the throw. Just got over the head of Wood. And you're right, Evan, nothing that he could do there.
So puts runners on first and second, still with 2 outs. That'll bring up Ephraim Manzo. Manzo hits that ball through the hole on the left side for a base hit. Stopping at third is Mortensen. Strong throw in from the left fielder, Catalan. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs now. 10th hit of the night for the Power. As PSCL Uncommitted team trying to work out of a jam. First inning for this second wave of position players. Joseph Cook back out there. They're coming on in relief to get the last 2 outs of the third. So I'll bring up Josh Hernandez. Hernandez, the big man of the night offensively for the Power. Singled in the second, singled in the run, and the big 2-run double back in the third. So 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs is Beg pardon? That's actually Torrey Sweet at the plate, hitting in Josh Hernandez's spot. So Hernandez is done for the night after 2 hits and 3 RBIs. So Torrey Sweet will bat in the 8th spot in the order, here with the bases loaded.
Torrey Sweet, typically a guy we see leading things off for the Power, but pinch hitting for Josh Hernandez in this 8 order could certainly give them some of that strength.
That pitched outside to Sweet. He's hitting .263 here with the Power. A couple RBIs to his credit. They'll face a 2-0 count. George, I gotta assume he's looking dead red here, especially with the bases loaded.
2 outs, you want to keep it out of the glove of Jack Ray or Juco as well.
That ball's ripped down the right field line. It's going to be fair, and it's going to go into the corner. 2 runs score easily. Around third is Manzo. He's going to come across the plate and going to third, and in there standing with a 3-run bases clearing triple. Torrey Sweet coming off the bench. It's now 12-2 Power.
The Power lead 12-2.
Thank goodness, George. He got that fastball 2-0, and that was just a missile going into the corner. It's deep out there, too. All 3 runs scored relatively easily.
Opposite field hit for Torrey Sweet. Gave him a huge triple. Nothing much you can do there over in right field.
So that brings up the catcher, Tyler Richardson. 8th man to bat in the inning for the Power. The Power sent 10 men to the plate in the third, part of that 7-run outburst. Breaking ball first pitch swing, hit foul towards the Power dugout. Nice play by our clubhouse guy, Keaton Davis. Skipped the throw back to the pitcher. He got some jeers from the crowd, but I prefer the good play that he made, George. So 0-1 the count to Richardson. He's popped out twice so far. Trying to get in on the hitting action for the Power. He takes the ball in the dirt 1-1. Another good block there from Del Villar behind the plate.
He's a really solid catcher, able to keep the ball in front of him. He's very quick as well with, being behind the plate as the catcher. Second catcher we've seen, Swan did a really solid job as well.
We've talked about this throughout the season, but especially getting started, you're basically throwing together 13 different rosters to play together for a month. That's a lot of work for the catchers to get to know all the pitchers in their roster. And you have a game like tonight, you're catching guys, George, who have not been on your team here during the PSCL League.
I think that goes to show how quick these catchers can learn very quickly. High IQ of the game. They know what's going on with their pitchers that they're going up against. I mean, it's changing throughout the season. So they have really great adaptability where they can change just like that with a snap of the fingers.
Warming up in the bullpen right now for the PSCL Uncommitted group is Andrew Bench, righty for the Bombers. Joseph Cook trying to work his way through this 4th inning. It's going in the 3rd so far. That pitch just high to Richardson. Ty Richardson put up a good at bat so far. Fouled off a few pitches here with 2 strikes. Trying to play Torrey Sweet, who's over third after clearing the base with a 3-run triple into the right field corner. 2-2 swung on a miss by Richardson, and that retires the side. The Power put up 4 more runs here in their half of the fourth. It's a 12-2 ball game. The big blow coming from Torrey Sweet's 3-run triple. We go to the top of the 5th. Power up 10.
Here we are, set for the top of the 5th inning. Adam Green leading things off for the PSCL Uncommitted team here. So it's going to be the 9, the 1, the 2 due up next for the PSCL. They're trailing by 10 runs here, able to get 2 runs early on. And then a very strong bottom of the 3rd inning from the Palm Springs Power scored 7 runs.
Well, especially with these uncommitted players. You got to play the same way you would if it's a 0-0 ball. We've talked about this earlier, George. This night is for them. Try and showcase themselves. They're trying to get recruited right now or move up a little bit in the collegiate ranking system. So if you get another chance up at the plate, put yourself in the mindset it's the bottom of the 9th inning or something with a tie game and a chance to try to win it.
Adam Green 0 for 1 in the ball game, struck out in the 2nd inning. 1 of 6 strikeouts for Carson Phillips on the mound as he's talking to Tyler Richardson as they walk back over. Adam Green batting .133 and a .316 on base percentage for the North Stars this season. He's a guy, might not be able to get a lot of hits, but he's able to get on base and produce runs for you as well. Very quick on his feet.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I like that, right? What we just saw right there, George. Just sprayed that ball foul. I got a tough pitch there from Phillips down and away. He just poked the bat out there, sprayed it foul, and tried it to make sure he stayed alive.
You like to see the aggression from him. That pitch a little out in front of him, still able to swing and get some contact on the barrel. So that's going to be strikeout number 7 for Carson Phillips as Green goes down looking, and Jason Delviar going to be batting now for the PSCL Uncommitted team. First time we're going to see him this evening, but he's been behind the plate as well. Very solid catcher. We've been talking about that a lot.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. He's thrown 3 guys out stealing so far this season, 13 total attempts. Those sound like excellent numbers to me. My younger brother's a catcher, and he telling me those are at a college level. If you're throwing 3 for 13, throwing out base runners, that's solid. Also, a couple doubles to his credit this season. Playing for the Bombers. OPS close to 800. Those extra base hits will definitely help.
So 0-2 count for Del Villar. 1 out, nobody on here. Top of the 5th inning. This PSCL uncommitted team trailed by 10 runs. But you're right, Evan. They're very aggressive at the plate as Del Villar goes down swinging for back-to-back strikeouts for Carson Phillips. But they have putting a lot of heart into this. Like you said, this is their game. This is their night for them to go prove something out there.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And frankly, facing Carson Phillips is a tough enough task, especially when you're coming off the bench. Frankly, I was impressed even seeing the way they strung together a couple really good innings, put a couple runs on the board against him. And before ultimately the Power ended up putting 7 runs on the board in the 3rd and 4 in the 4th. Also, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind, if you want any more information on any of the uncommitted players tonight or the separate group from last night, contact Don Bray, one of the assistant coaches for the Power and manager of the A's here in the PSCL. You can get him at 626-664-5136.
So 1-2 count for Colin Wood. He was walked in the 3rd inning, stole a base, and scored one of the 2 runs for the PSCL uncommitted team.
You know, George, it is a lot of fun talking to Don just about the game in general. He could talk about any situation. He's coached at several different levels, high school, college, you name it. So that'll retire the side here in order.
So Padilla to Blythe as Colin Wood grounds out. Gonna retire the inning. 1-2-3 inning for Carson Phillips and the Palm Springs Power. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's gonna be Nelson Padilla leading things off when we return. Here we are set, bottom of the 5th inning. Nice. Nelson Padilla stepping in the batter's box as it's going to be Andrew Bench The right-hand pitcher for the Bombers on the mound.
You know, I tell you, George, that's an imposing-looking guy out there on the mound, standing at 6'4", 220 pounds. I never liked facing really tall pitchers myself during my playing days. He's gone 12 innings so far pitching for the Bombers, 3.75 ERA. Whopping 17 strikeouts. Jeez, that's a ton.
So fastball going to get inside for strike one. Padilla going to go swing on that one.
And he's been a big innings guy so far. 2 of his 3 appearances on the mound have been starts. He's gone 5 innings in each of those starts.
As that's going to be chopped up over to Jack Coe at short, and the throw over in time.
Can't ask for a better start than that if you're bench. 1 batter, 1 quick out, especially on the ground. Looked like he got that put away on a breaking ball too. Down the zone, got Padilla out in front of it.
Now back for the Power, Jake Biscaloo.
So Jake Biscaloo is going to be batting for the Palm Springs Power, as they are up 12-2 over the PSCL Uncommitted team.
So Biscaloo's in the 2nd spot, in for Anthony Angel Jr. Biscaloo's hitting .286 so far this season, a double, 3 RBIs, 4 runs scored to his credit.
As a pitch, they're going to get inside, 0-1 the count. Some solid pitching so far from Andrew Bench, the righty.
Well, it's a big deal, especially first 2 hitters get ahead, strike 1. And it's what Don Bray talked to us about. It's what they're emphasizing in all these plays. Doesn't matter the situation, be aggressive at all times. Aggressive in the strike zone, or be aggressive on the base paths, and especially at the plate within the strike zones. He's worked ahead, 0-2 already.
And the curveball getting inside, top of the strike zone. 0-2 count as here we go. As that's going to be chopped up slowly over to Green at third. He's going to keep that one in his back pocket.
Well, that's a shame if you're a bench and the PSCL Uncommitted group. Tremendous pitch. Breaking ball, Biscaloo's barely got the bat on it. Just honestly, it's one of those you probably couldn't have rolled it much better, George, if you're trying to get an infield hit up the third base line.
Number 3, Richie Amavisca.
So Richie Amavisca going to be pinch hitting now for Evan Berkey.
Power going deep into their bench with a 10-run lead. And Amavisca getting .324 this season, 3 doubles, 7 RBIs to his credit.
1 runner on and 1 out. Bench looking back over at Del Villar, as that's going to be a breaking ball down in the dirt, 1-0. Both these guys teammates, both of them play on the Bombers, so they have some chemistry already. And we talked about that, Evan, is the chemistry that catchers and pitchers have in the PSCL. They're going to have to learn to adapt quickly, as they have a very short season with many pitchers that they're going to have to get used to.
Well, there's no doubt about it. You assume that trust at this point is well ingrained, especially with the playoffs coming up just next week. And at least for a night like tonight, it makes things a lot easier having the a pitcher and catcher combination where you played with him throughout the entire season. And frankly, Del Villar behind the plate has been excellent so far tonight. It's only his 2nd inning of work. We've seen him block several tough pitches in the dirt.
High fastball upstairs, 1-2, as Amavisca going to swing at that one. So really solid pitching here, the bottom of the 5th inning from Andrew Bench.
Looks like Nick Garcia of the Bootleggers is warming up in the bullpen, so good chance he'll be the next man coming into the game. Likely see him for the 7th. Besides Joseph Cook, every pitcher's gone just 1 inning, Cook going an inning and 2/3.
As here's a 1-2 from Bench, breaking ball down low, 2-2. One out, 1 runner on for the Power. Here's a 2-2 from Bench. That's going to get the left shoulder there, Richie Amavisca.
For the most part, I really don't mind batters or pitchers hitting batters, because that tells me they're at least willing to throw inside. I've said before, George, you go outside for show, and then you go inside for dough. That time just missed a spot and able to get on base.
Spencer Dickinson stepping in the batter's box. He's one of those guys who played in the PSCL, got called up to play for the Power, and here he is right now. He's going to be pinch hitting for Noah Blythe. As Palm Springs Power up 12-2 over the PSCL Uncommitted team.
A breaking ball inside there. 4 RBIs in the season so far for Dickinson. He swung a super hot bat. That's his power numbers at least. He's, as you said, Drew, he's been red hot. Big slugger in the PSCL. I think a lot of PSCL players are hoping that with Dickinson on the Power roster, he doesn't end up taking up a spot on the All-Star team, open up a spot for another PSCL guy. The All-Star game coming up. Independence Day on Monday, 6 o'clock start time, fireworks to follow.
2-0 count with 2 runners on for Bench. He looks back over on second to Biscaluz, and here's the 2-0. Fastball up high, 3-0 the count. So with 1 out, 2 runners on here for the Power with Dickinson at the plate.
Just keep in mind, playoffs for the PSCL League starting exactly 1 week from now on Wednesday the 6th.
Now the fastball going to be ball 4.
Any game here on the stadium will be streaming it live on the Palm Springs Collegiate Baseball YouTube link.
So 1 out, bases are loaded. It's going to be Brock Mortensen. He scored 3 runs and been on base 3 times in the ball game. He has 1 base hit in the 4th.
Also be very important for Andrew Bench right here. Excellent start to this inning. Try and get back aggressive in the strikes, and that's a good looking start right there from that breaking ball getting it over. Yeah, you had the hit by pitch on a 2-strike count, the walk right there, and just like assistant coach for the Power, Don Bray said, be aggressive in the strike zone. If you get hit, you get hit.
Here's the 0-1. Another curveball inside. 0-2 the count for Mortensen.
He looks very comfortable with that curveball going with it back-to-back to get ahead 0-2. So if I'm Mortensen, I'm sitting curveball Frank and just trying to foul off the fastball.
So the righty Bench going up against the lefty Mortensen. As here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball going to be fouled off.
I really like that fastball right there. A lot of times 0-2, you want to throw it out of the strike zone. That pitch would be in the strike zone, but a perfect spot in on the hands, right on the fists and knuckles of Mortensen.
So starts off the at-bat with 2 breaking balls and goes in heavy with the fastball. 0-2 is the count for Mortensen going up against Andrew Bench. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball down and inside.
Oh, really?
1-2 the count, and good save there from Del Villar.
Well, that was an excellent play. That time, one of the few fastballs where Bench has really missed his spot. Del Villar had to kind of go pick it and backhand it across his body. Excellent job there.
So 1-2 is the count. Bases are loaded for the Power. As the PSCL team looking to turn double play there. That's going to be ripped down over the right field line. And 2 runs are going to come in to score for the Power. Dickinson on third, as that is going to be a 2-run RBI for Brock Mortensen. As Biscaluz and Amaviska come in to score for the Power, puts them up 14-2.
Well, that's a really good piece of hitting there from Mortensen. He fouled off a tough fastball down and in the previous pitch. Bench tried to go back in there again to get a strike free, and Mortensen looked like he was looking forward. He turned on really nicely and ripped that ball in the right.
So Connor Olson is going to be pinch hitting for Isaiah Alvarez, another lefty here for the Power with 1 out, runners on the corners. Mortensen and Dickinson are the 2 base runners for Palm Springs. Big swing and a miss there, 0-1 the count. Bench starts off the at-bats very hot. All of them that we've seen so far have been strikes for the first pitch.
And especially you're facing a higher level of competition. It goes for all these PSCL uncommitted players. You're taking on the Power. Several Division I guys on this roster for the Power, and it's a lot tougher to try and put hitters like that away.
It is tough, but these guys are not afraid at all to do so. They're able to throw strikes. They're not afraid of throwing it right down Main Street in the middle. As here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball going to be up high, 1-2.
Yeah, another really good breaking ball. There's really good life on that breaking pitch there from Andrew Bench.
He has a really good 1-2 combo with the breaking ball / curveball, and then he also can throw you that fastball up high. As here's a 1-2. Popped up into the air. Shallow left. Catalan going to let that drop in front of him. Now puts bases loaded. If the base hit there from Connor Olson. Dickinson on third. Mortensen on second. Olson on first.
And just a little bit of bad luck there from Bench. He threw an excellent pitch right there, down and away. Connor Olson barely got any of the bat on. He just floated that out to no man's land in shallow left.
Emmanuel Dean now batting for the Power with 1 out. Bases loaded here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Is that pitch there going to be a little outside, 1-0 the count. First time in this inning we've seen a 1-0 count to start off an at-bat. Usually it's been a really good strike in the fastball from Andrew Bench.
Well, that's an excellent sign regardless of what level you're pitching at, being able to get ahead of hitters. When you get strike one, George, there are just so many more options. You can try and pitch backwards from there. You just put the hitter back on his heels if you're able to get strike one.
Dean up in the count, 2-0. Bases loaded, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning with the Power of a 14-2 lead.
Wonder what kind of confidence Bench has to go with his breaking ball here.
As that's going to be popped up into the air. High fastball going to bring in 1 run. 2 runs going to come in to score for the Power. As it now puts them up 16-2. As Dickinson and Mortensen come in to score. 2-run base hit for Emmanuel Dean.
And honestly, George, that was a really good fastball on the other half. Sounded like it might have broken Dean's bat. And that
Did
ball,
sound like it.
Yeah, it didn't get that all that deep out in the center field. So just 2 base hits in a row. The ball not hit particularly hard, just finding the right spot.
Number 45, Torrey Sweet.
So Torrey Sweet batting. We saw him in the bottom of the 4th who had a bases clearing triple. And 2 runners on with 1 out. Looks to be Nick Garcia warming up in the bullpen to our right for the PSCL Uncommitted team. Plays for the Bootleggers.
And he was up throwing a little bit earlier in this inning. Similar situation earlier in the game. They're going to try... PSCL Uncommitted, they're going to try and let Bench try and work his way through this inning, but because now you can reasonably expect it. Nick Garcia would be the next guy coming out of the bullpen, whether it's for the 7th or if he has to finish the job here in the 6th.
As that's going to be fouled back, 1-2 the count. One out, 2 runners on. So this inning started off with Nelson Padilla grounding out. And we saw a few base hits, hit by pitch as well. That's going to be fouled back once again. This count still 1-2.
I mean, look, if you're Andrew Bench and the rest of these position players on the field right now, part of this second wave, you have to keep your head up no matter what. Still trying to showcase yourself. You're still 1 pitch away from trying to get out of this inning.
Still fouled back.
Honestly, these power hitters, though, they're doing a really good job of keeping themselves alive after falling behind in the count. And it shows to show good things happen when you're able to put the ball in play.
So few early swings from Torrey Sweet. Puts him down in the count 1-2 against Andrew Bench, who's pitching now for the PSCL Uncommitted team. As that's going to be popped up into the air, shallow left field. That's Jacko getting underneath that for out number 2.
Another really good breaking ball right there. Started it in, ran it back over the inside half to Torrey Sweet, and got the pop-up right in on his hands for a pretty easy second out.
So Richardson stepping in the batter's box, batting in the 9 spot. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game, as Andrew Bench and company looking to retire the side, leaving 2 runners on. Popped up into the air, shallow right field. And getting underneath that for out number 3 is going to be Fagan. So 4 runs are going to score here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Power, they are up 16-2 against a PSCL uncommitted team. Top of the 6th inning when we return.